Welcome back to another episode of the Scale Smart podcast. I'm your host, Jacob, and also the founder of NetScale Growth. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by the founder of Zeus AI, Sam Oliver. Sam, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, Jacob, thank you for having me.
So, Sam, kick me off. Tell me a little bit more about yourself, your experience, and what do you guys do at Zeus AI?
So I have been involved in startups for 15 years now, starting to feel like I almost know what I'm doing. My first company was founded back in 2010, doing online advertising in real estate. And then my second company was a lead management technology called LeadPro. And we scaled that business to a 37% market share of UK real estate. All of the big brands, the Knight Frank, Savills, Winkworth, Archer Jonas. And then I sold that business back in 2021. I stayed for an earnout until 2023. And then in 2023, I started Zeus AI. The excitement for me of this company is that the technology has become so good. And I feel like there's this big technology overhang where the tools are really powerful, but in terms of enterprises adopting them, people are still figuring out how they can actually use them. And that is the big objective with Zeus, is to commercialize this technology and to take my experience and my founding team's experience in lead management, sales, in real estate and financial services, and to leverage the power of AI there. So particularly helping big companies automate customer conversations with AI.
Amazing. And Sam, as a serial entrepreneur, right, we'll call it, with ventures as like LeadPro and now Zeus AI, what's some of the unique challenges you've encountered while scaling Zeus AI compared to some of your other previous startups?
AI is a very different technology. With a lot of older technology, just automations, people knew they were 100% reliable. Like if you had an old-fashioned chatbot with multiple choices, no matter what you clicked, it would always give you the same reliable answer. Whereas AI has hallucinations and AI has risks associated with that. And I think that while large companies are very excited to take advantage of AI, there's also a lot of fear about compliance, regulation, reliability, risk. And, when we see articles like I managed to get the chatbot to say bad things about the brand, big companies freak out. So I think the scaling challenge is probably, it's a double-sided situation, because the opportunity is the exciting new technology and the risk is the exciting new technology. So I think just companies getting more familiar with it is the challenge.
What are you guys doing to make sure that you can solve like them challenges which you just mentioned there? What are you guys doing to make sure you can solve them challenges for these companies?
A good question. So one of the companies we were speaking to, a large financial provider, they said, really want to get Zeus on our website, really excited, love the demo. We just need you to go through our AI policy, procurement policy. Like, okay, great. Like, we'll go through your procurement process, send over your AI policy. And they were like, our legal advisors haven't finished drafting it. So it's like, wow. That's how cutting edge it is. Companies are still figuring out how to buy this and how to put it in their procurement processes. So one of the things that we did was we were very proactive with the FCA, Financial Conduct Authority here in the UK, about going out and saying, look, this is what we do. We're automating conversations in mortgages, financial services, and insurance. How do we make sure that we're compliant? Where is the line between providing information versus giving financial advice? And then we took all of that conversation that we had with the FCA and we shared it with our clients so that they could see we had already looked into risk compliance and we could answer those questions. So when the compliance officer at a big bank says, oh, well, I'm worried about XYZ specific articles, we can go, well, actually, here's these exact answers to these articles. And this is what the FCA had said about it. And this is why it's compliant. So doing the legwork to understand the compliance was the solution for us.
And with the rise of like AI agents and AI driven sales assistants, to say, how do you guys make sure you have that competitive edge and always have that differentiator to other different AI agents or different AI driven sales assistants in the industry?
That is a very good question. I mean, I think one of them is compliance. Like a lot of the suppliers out there are industry agnostic and a lot of them are self-service. So industry agnostics means you don't have the compliance solutions in place, which you need, for example, for financial services. So people just can't buy them. And then self-service versus managed setup. A lot of these big companies are just so unbelievably busy that unless a supplier can come in and do the work for them, they're not going to be able to get the technology deployed. So although there are some really cool self-service tools, I think you have to be able to, particularly with enterprise sales, it's about knowing your niche and being able to service your niche. You have to be able to go in and integrate with their API. You have to get through all of the technical complexities of being able to fit into their systems. And I think that is our USP, or those are our USPs. Tight vertical focus, and then having the really experienced team that can do those in-depth onboarding and technical implementation.
And in what ways are you guys using AI to kind of leverage an advantage within the industry and enhance maybe your product offerings or stay ahead within the industry trends that are happening all the time?
I think one big thing is data analysis and another is prototyping. So using tools to be able to see what is going on in the market, what are the trends, what is happening, and being able to research things a lot faster, and then being able to prototype and get feedback on prototyping a lot faster as well.
Because like I got a question to ask you right now, because like for someone being in the industry, I know for myself, for example, if I'm going on to like Amazon chat support, right, for example, I know I've dealt with that chat support automated agent so many times and I don't get the answer. I don't even bother speaking to them anymore. I just say transfer me to an agent. So what are you doing to make sure you don't get that? Because me personally, I get very I have mixed feelings about like AI chatbots and things like that, because I've spoke to a few people who have said like this is what we're doing to make sure we do this, or like one guy for example, he had filmed like hours and hours and hours and hours of content exactly to his company. So any question that somebody asked, it had the answer for, right? But then like you see some chatbots who have the same generic response for everything. And it's so annoying. So it gets to the point where it's like, I don't even want to deal with it anymore. Just send me straight to an agent. So like, what are you doing to make sure that don't happen with you?
So first of all, I think it's important to split the technology into two. There's chatbots, which are not connected to LLMs. They're not AI powered. It is multi-choice. And if you don't fit into that decision-making tree, you're going to get stuck in a loop. It's not going to be able to give you an answer. And that is very much the old technology. And those are the exact kind of solutions that we come in to replace. And then there's AI agents where they actually are able to do things. They can access databases, they can find information, they can provide updates, and they can actually take actions. And I think what we're seeing is this technology is very, very new. So some of the infrastructure is still being put in place. It's kind of like the steam train has been invented, but we still need to get the railway lines set out across the nation. And a lot of those big bits of data and tooling that are in large companies, they've got all of the data and they've got the different tools that can be accessed, but we haven't connected the infrastructure to let AI agents be able to work with them. So MCP model context protocol and agent to agent protocols is the next sort of big thing, the API layer to be able to let AIs connect with existing services. In terms of what we're doing at Zeus, we have got essentially two core components that are our IP. One is knowledge database. So being able to upload a lot of static data around a company's services, procedures, policies, pricing, resources, to be able that when you then ask the AI something, it can give you an accurate answer. That's the first thing. And then the second is conversation flows. So being able to help the AI understand how to best serve the customer, be it saying, actually, you're not ready to buy our product, but here's resources to help you or signpost you somewhere else, or actually the kind of support request can't be done agentically yet. Instead, I need to gather these information off you and then I'll send it to a support person and this is the process and this is the answer. The other thing that we're doing that I think is quite interesting is with AI, there's a big opportunity for recursive learning. And the most simple form of that, which is not really automated, is just getting conversation scoring. So at the end of a conversation, getting a 1 to 5 scoring of did the consumer find the conversation to be helpful, and then also getting the qualitative feedback of why did they give that number. If it's bad, what was bad? If it was good, what was good? So we've been doing scoring on all conversations, and we're sitting at 87% 4 star plus, which means that people are getting better, and it will just continue to get better.
Yeah, that's great. And I think with that scoring thing is good. But quick question on that, because I know sometimes, like for example, when I go onto a chatbot or I go onto some type of automated conversation, right? It says to leave a review, and I never do. I just click straight off. As long as I've got what I need, I just click straight off. So, is there anything you guys are doing in particular to make sure that you are getting the responses you need in order to make sure you can adjust?
I think you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink.
Mm-hmm.
The key things would be making the user interface easy, accessible, A/B testing optimizations like getting the AI agent to pop up or trying different phrasing or having notification noises. So there's a lot we test in the product itself to optimize, but I don't think there's any necessary secret sauce there. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the consumer is engaging with you for a reason. They want to communicate with you for a reason. Can you help them with that reason or not? And even if you can't help them with that reason, can you still give them a good experience and let them feel
Yeah.
heard? So, yeah, I guess it's trying to be human.
Yeah, and I think as well, like just thinking on that, I think if you've actually got a good product and you offer and you give a good service, people will give you a review. Like if it's just like a quick, oh yeah, 1 to 5, what did you like about it? But if you don't get a great service, people probably won't leave a review or leave a bad review. So I think it's good that if you guys are confident within your offering and you're confident within like the product which you've got, people will just leave reviews naturally because they've actually got the information that they needed.
I mean, I think that's another really key thing. So, when we work with large companies, most of them have got really good analytics in place. So, we're able
Mm.
to track on a company's website what are the calls to action. So, it's usually here's our phone number and here's a contact us form. And then sometimes they might have like a live diary booking availability. So, you can book in an appointment. When we add conversational AI to the website with live chat, one of the things I've been really impressed by is it doesn't reduce the contact volumes from the other channels. It actually increases the amount of traffic that is engaging. And that is because often someone who isn't ready to pick up the phone or doesn't want to bother filling out a contact form, but does have an actual question, will now just ask the question because they know they can get an immediate answer with lower effort. So people who are maybe earlier in the sales journey start to build a relationship with the brand, start
Mm.
to have a good customer experience. And I think that is where we see the big revenue uplift is how do we make it easy for visitors on your website to get answers, to ask questions, to feel heard. And I think that's kind of the big commercial advantage that hasn't existed before.
Yeah. And Sam, just to finish off, what are some of the goals you've got for Zeus over the next 12 months or so?
So I think the biggest long-term goal is to be able to stay at the cutting edge of the integrations. So working on MCP to be able to connect to live diaries, to be able to do appointment rescheduling, resetting, and also to somewhat unleash Zeus on outbound. So at the moment, the product only takes inbound conversations. So they can be people clicking on live chat or clicking on WhatsApp to send a message to a brand on WhatsApp, and Zeus can reply. But the big opportunity is working with companies where they've got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of customer records, but they're not doing outbound marketing to them. And they do have the opt-in and permissions to contact them, but they don't have the resources to message 10,000 customers on WhatsApp. So the big product that we've got in alpha right now is connecting the AI, so taking Zeus with its knowledge base, its sales conversation flows, the understanding of the brand, the products, the pricing, and being able to let it contact customers from the database automatically outbound and push them to tell them about new promotions, new offers, and get them to book in for appointments. So I think the big thing is are about enabling outbound, going across more channels, and making the actual AI more powerful. So connecting through MCP to other services, more tools, more data.
Yeah, amazing. And if people wanted to reach out to them and find out some more information about yourself or also Zeus, where's the best place for them to do that?
Yeah, best place is get-zeus.com, and the website is crammed full of info and you can reach out through that. You can also try it. You can chat to Zeus on our website, kick the tires.
Amazing. Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you on.
A pleasure. Thanks so much, Jacob.
Amazing.